you
Yes, I do. I have one. Don't tell anyone. Here, you ready?
Yes. Whenever you're ready.
And you all lost the game.
Ah!
Lost.
Come on, man.
Game.
I don't play.
Really?
Well,
You can't do that.
No,
Welcome to
she-
Populore. We are back again after a long time because I suck at editing. I'm terrible at editing, and the last episode didn't get up because I screwed it up. That's beside the point. This week we have with us Garrett.
Again.
Again.
Joy.
Ethan.
Adam.
And this is
And Ethan.
No, this is Adam. This is Ethan.
Yeah, Adam and Ethan.
Confusing the listeners and the watchers.
And I'm Dylan, of course. Welcome to Populore, as I already said. We have quite a bit of news today, and for a lot of listeners, they have demanded that we bring back the "That's not true, that's impossible" segment. So I have it. I have brought it along. It is good. We ready to go? Are we ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. I'm not going to start with "That's not true."
Okay.
The first bit of news that I would like to go into is J.J. Abrams. It was
Oh.
finally announced
The
that
man is going to take over.
he's going to take
He's
over
going to be the viceroy of Disney.
everything.
What if he bought Disney? What would happen then?
He did not have enough money to do that.
I don't think anyone does.
He is directing Star Wars 7.
Really?
And yes, and it has been
I just might see that.
the man behind Star Trek, Alias, Lost, is going to do the
He had some with
seventh-
Transformers too, didn't he?
No.
That was
Sorry.
Michael Bay.
Michael
Okay,
Bay.
okay, sorry.
Leave.
Michael Bay.
Not
I mean, what?
Boom versus quality. That's
Oh, okay.
Lens flare versus boom.
Lens flare versus boom. We like lens flare. Yeah, and he's going to be doing Star Wars 7, and they're saying they were going to originally do it for a 2015 time slot, and they might push that back because JJ wants more time to kind of get where he wants to go with the story. He's not sure where he really wants to push it yet. So who knows? Who knows? Do you guys think it'll be a good thing under?
Well, now that J.J. Abrams is directing it, then maybe.
I mean, they can't make it worse, and it's J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, in all honesty, I didn't want them to do another one. I wish they had just let it lie.
They wouldn't. That's the thing. Is now
But
it's happening.
if anyone's gonna do it, J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, that is true.
The way I look at it, and it was big in the news earlier. We might have talked about this before. Is George Takei released a couple videos on YouTube saying Star Wars and Star Trek do not need. Sorry.
No, stop, Dylan. Stop what you're doing.
Do not need to be in war anymore because there's a new thing taking over, and that is Twilight. So as sci-fi fans, we need to come together and defeat Twilight. And I feel like under J.J. Abrams, now that he has taken Star
We have
Trek
our
and
commander.
What if George Takei is in the next Star Wars movie?
I wouldn't doubt it.
He's just an
That'd be
alien.
amazing.
Oh,
That would be awesome.
oh my
That
god.
would be-
I would cry tears of joy.
You can't cry my tears, Adam. I need Ethan.
Y'all are biologically separate. Gosh.
Okay.
Oh man. So what's the next bit of news? Hang on.
So, J.J. Abrams,
J.J. Abrams
Star Wars.
doing Star Wars.
Thumbs. We're showing our
Thumbs up.
thumbs.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs.
Yeah.
I have thumbs.
There is an Annie remake. Have you guys seen the original? It was a 1982 film, musical Annie. You know, little redhead, little orphan
Yes.
Annie.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
I know what you mean. I've
Is
never
it a
watched
musical?
Yes.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I
they did
think
a
so.
movie.
Oh yeah, didn't they make one in like 01 or something like that? 2001?
How about 82?
No, not the one you're talking about. You said they redid it, didn't they?
They're going to redo it.
Hey,
Oh,
you know when
okay.
the
I think I know which
Canadian-
one you're talking
You know when
about,
the
sorry.
Canadian one was done? In the 80s.
That was so bad.
That was-
I'm just gonna disregard it.
Yeah, just edit, big edit. Right
Go,
there.
Duck Hunter. Go.
Anyways, if you aren't familiar with what Annie is, it's a Broadway musical about a little orphan redhead child who goes to live with Daddy Warbucks during the Great Depression. It's actually a fantastic musical. I love it. I grew up with it. It's very interesting. The remake is going to be directed by Will Gluck, who did the movie Easy A. If you are familiar with that.
That's not exactly
It's
speaking
not
to the heartfeltness of what this movie's going to be.
Yeah. seems kind of strange. Well, the good news is they were going to have Willow Smith star, and she's too old to do it at this point, so she's going to have to stick with waving her hair back and forth for future. See, I'm good at puns.
Headbanger. It's like Willow Smith is like headbanging for 12-year-olds.
What?
Thing is like so rock and roll. Willow Smith fans.
Okay, I'm just gonna take your word for it. Be done with it. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Have any of you guys?
If any of you have watched it, you're fired.
Okay.
You're fired. Well,
I mean, from what I heard, it was pretty.
The one with Daniel Craig, or the overseas one? Because the one that was actually made in Sweden is different than the American release.
I just remember having heard that certain things of it were.
It's not gonna lie, there are some really dark elements of the story. The main character is kind of a crazy lunatic goth girl. That's beside the point. It was a great book.
So it's a family movie.
It's a family movie. You should all know.
These days, that's probably like standard.
Yeah.
Isn't that sad?
Morals. Who needs morality?
Anyways, they weren't planning on doing a sequel because it didn't do as well as they thought it would in the box office. But the thing about cutting the main character, who was played by Daniel Craig, because now he's James Bond, and who needs, that kind of movie when you're crazy awesome James Bond.
Yeah, after that you can just like stop your whole actor. One James Bond movie, you just stop your acting career.
No,
after
the thing is people say that he is the best one so far. People always have that argument, but I think it's very sound.
I'm sure people have said that about every James Bond so far.
They haven't.
They really.
I'm not a big
Sean
Bond
Connery has really set the standard for years until Craig comes along.
And that's the thing, is it's always like, no, Sean Connery's better, no, Daniel Craig's better. My personal opinion, my two favorite films are Daniel Craig films, so...
Yeah. It has to do a lot with which James Bond you grew up with, which one you watched first, and different stuff like that. So
I've only seen 2 of them.
Similar to Doctor Who.
Well, Goldfinger was my first James Bond, and it's my third favorite.
The
Bond
introduction to
overall,
Sean Connery was always good. You can't see him. Who are you? Bond. James Bond.
The second rate one was Silverfinger, and then there was Bronzefinger.
No,
just don't go.
It was actually, fun fact, it was supposed to be Coldfinger. And that was the way the song was written, but they changed it to have...
Well, you can't really tell the way she's singing it. I mean...
Well, yeah, that was the point. It was supposed to be that, and then they changed it last minute. Let's see. Oh, so it is it's 2013 now, I suppose.
Wait, what? How'd it go?
Is the...
What time does she work?
It is the... it's the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who.
Yes.
50th anniversary, and a couple of specials have been announced. But there's one in particular that I'm very interested in called An Adventure in Space and Time. And it's going to be a telemovie. It's a 90-minute thing that
Isn't
kind
that
of
the whole life of the
dramatizes...
Doctor? Adventure in Time and Space? Isn't that kind of the life of the Doctor?
Well, kind of. It's supposed to be how the show started. It's going to be like a 90-minute movie about how...
Oh, so it's not like an episode. It's a special.
Yeah, it's a special.
Oh,
it's a special.
It's like, isn't it documentary style?
It's a documentary style, but it's dramatized. Like they're getting different people. It's like maybe not a bio. I don't know. Biopic, kind of like that. It's kind of like that mixed with the documentary. I don't know exactly.
So you get a DVD or you click the special features thing. It'll be something.
It's kind of like that, but it's gonna be like its own movie.
Okay.
It's gonna be featuring David Bradley, who you'll know who this is when I say who he plays. He played Filch in Harry Potter. He was in a Doctor Who episode.
Yeah, he was in Dinosaurs on a Spaceship.
Dinosaurs on a Spaceship.
What?
And he's gonna
Is
play
that the little Smeagol kind of thing with Harry Potter?
No.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
Wait,
Smeagol?
No, the little small dad thing.
Oh,
that's Dobby.
Or is it Dobby? Sorry.
Filch is the guy in Harry Potter who's like...
The janitor.
He's the janitor.
He's
not the
the
Okay,
groundskeeper.
I think I know who you're talking about.
But,
Magical janitor.
yeah.
Was it Tennant in one of the Harry Potter?
Oh my god.
He was in Goblet of Fire.
I need to go back and watch that because now I have this new appreciation for Tennant.
Yeah. But anyways, David Bradley is going to be playing the first Doctor, William Hartnell, who originally played the part. Obviously, he's passed away because the first episode was in '63, so...
And he was pretty old by then, so...
Yeah, he was already white hair.
and it's going to be a dramatic view of the origins of the show.
Hey,
So I think that's going to be.
I have a question for y'all about the Doctor. Y'all two know it best. Has the Doctor ever been a ginger?
Nope.
Nope.
Did it have any attention?
I think the 8th Doctor was close.
The 8th Doctor?
Wasn't he brownish?
Well, yeah,
brownish
he's
redhead? A little bit.
Which one was this?
Well,
Is it the scarf?
It's still not
scarf,
really
no, it's
ginger, though.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't ginger, but it had a little bit of red in it.
I can see that.
I don't know. Redhead doctor does not sound cool. Just it doesn't, in my opinion. It doesn't.
Yeah.
As long as
It's because gingers don't have souls.
Out go.
Well, there goes half of our viewers. Yeah. Nice job, Ethan. I mean, Adam.
I mean, we're still going with this bit?
We're still going with this bit.
Alrighty then. Hey, I'm Musker. I mean, I'm not. Wait.
Just stop. You were good.
So
The bit's dead. I'm Adam, he's Ethan.
yeah, this is obviously Ethan. Last bit of normal news that I have is there was a movie that they've been working on for a while that was originally called 1952 by Brad Bird, and people kept thinking it's a fake title for the Star Wars movie. It's a fake title for the Star Wars movie. Well, it's actually a real movie. It's actually a legitimate movie. It has been. See if you can guess what it's about. The retitling of the name was Tomorrowland.
The future.
The future. Yes, it's supposed to be like the 1950s. The Walt Disney. It's based off of the area of the park.
Yeah.
Tomorrowland. The only person cast so far is George Clooney, and we literally know nothing about it. It's directed by Brad Bird, who did Iron Giant and The Incredibles.
Yeah!
So,
Oh,
So is it an animated
childhood movie.
no, it's a live action.
Brad Bird. Is that the same guy who's kind of like Angry Bird?
You're just looking
And
for
you
every
just
little
look
word
up
for
everything
everything
chill,
you
okay?
out.
Marvel 4.
Y'all know I eat puns, right? Like that's my only source of nutrition. I devour puns. That's
I've
why.
never seen Ethan eat anything
Yeah.
in his life. I've
Well,
never witnessed it.
Those are pun cookies, not chocolate chip cookies.
We're
It's the
gonna-
the listeners don't.
We're gonna move to my favorite segment of all time. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Alright, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
That's not true! That's impossible!
News in the media. Ladies and gentlemen, for you this week, we have quite a bit to go through at the moment. There is in development a World of Warcraft movie.
Oh
Whoa,
no, they do
yeah.
that so Why? They do this so much.
It's going to be directed by... Well, here's the thing, is I know nothing about WoW other than, its popularity, but I have hopes because it's being directed by Duncan Jones, who did Source Code, which is a phenomenal sci-fi movie and has a lot of references back to old time travel movies, so
The problem with the World of Warcraft. Have you ever seen movies adapted from video games?
Yes, and they tend to not work out, and that was one of his major points, was he said that, he was like, well, it's my time to prove that a video game movie can be done well. So.
Yeah, do it.
Who would be the
Stick it in their
leader?
faces.
But what about, I mean, we've seen a well-done video game movie. Whatever that one was that Dad checked out. Did you ever watch that?
The one about Halo?
Yeah.
It was
It
Forward
was
Unto
pretty
Dawn.
cool.
Forward Unto Dawn was an experiment that I think went very well. Microsoft put in, I think, $100 million, I think,
Oh, that's a small budget.
into this movie, and it turned out fairly well, though granted the characters were all one-dimensional, but the action sequences were phenomenal, and it looked very realistic. So.
Which, that's going right straight to the fans of Halo, which is...
Yeah, which is exactly what they were looking for.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it looked... Thoughts?
I
Thoughts,
played
I'd
World
love
of
to hear.
Warcraft. I like the game, but who would be the main character? I mean, at least
I
in
don't know.
Halo and games like that, there is a main person. But in World of Warcraft,
Just have like a
it's
little
an
quest.
MMO.
Yeah.
And so I can't...
Yeah.
Maybe if it was about the kings of each race, but I'm not...
I don't know.
I just cannot see any way live action or CGI, and there's... I can't see that going well. I just can't.
I don't know
But
what
either
to
way,
tell
you know
you.
you're gonna go see it.
I say that you get the the stars who have done those commercials. So you get like Ozzy Osbourne and William Shatner,
And
and it's just Mr. T. And
I
they're
just
gonna
want
do a
Mr. T to
movie.
rhyme. I'm Mr. T, and I'm a night elf mohawk.
Mr. T should just put on just a little bit of blue makeup and wait, not horns. That doesn't work. Anyways, he just put on.
It'll be a documentary about their lives and work.
Yeah.
I just I don't see any version where that goes over well.
I'm interested to see what.
I was
what's
actually
gonna
excited for it because I played World of Warcraft a little bit, but I was more excited when, or I thought it would be funny if they go the route. Have you ever read Penny Arcade, the online comic?
No. So.
Well, they were talking about he's not going to see the movie unless it's about 3 high school teenagers who get sent into Azeroth in a 90s style movie. One's a nerd, so he knows how to do everything. The other 2 are like a cheerleader and a jock. And it's like, it ends with, "You're alright, nerd. I would play a sport with you."
That would be great.
He still doesn't know his name.
Yeah, he's nerd. I'd go see that.
No more spoilers for you.
I would. I'd go
If
see
they take it kind of a comedy route,
Yeah.
I doubt they will, but that would be alright.
Well, I think it's like gonna be a legit set in the world of
Yeah,
Warcraft. So
that's what I
I
expect.
don't know, but I'd go see that movie.
Yeah.
I'd love to go see that.
That
movie.
and because in the entire game there's the Alliance and the Horde. I don't know which side they would do that on. Would it be like one of those Civil War movies where you have good guys on both sides? Or
They can make it a romance where female is from the Horde and the male is from the Alliance, and they're separated by all
it's
the
like
wrongs
Romeo
of
and
each side.
Juliet.
World
in
of
Azeroth.
Warcraft. Romeo and Juliet. I can totally see that.
Kilio and Killian.
So many ways they could go.
The rest of this thing is
pandas
just
and
gonna be about
unicorns.
how we think the movie should go down.
All right. Any
Oh,
more?
you think you
That's
have
up
to
to
go?
that's about.
Now that he's gone, let's get to the real good.
Yes!
I go
Oh,
with
he's so
Mr.
good.
Now that he's gone.
Alright, guys. So let's keep going on with our news. Disney has related a synopsis of the Muppets sequel that we're going to have. Garrett is very mad about this. I was hoping.
Alright,
Don't
I'm
worry.
leaving
No,
too.
you think, wait, stay seated because if you're going to want to sit down after you hear this. This is going to be
I don't
so
wanna
bad.
hear- I don't wanna hear-
It's going to be so bad.
Really?
Really, it's.
So I was right. It's a bad movie.
It's not a bad movie.
Okay, fine.
But I am terrified of what they named it. Take a guess. I just want to hear some guesses.
I think
If
I already
you know,
know,
don't tell
so
me.
I'm not saying.
But I'd like to hear what you guys think they named it. Name the
I
sequel.
love this.
It's the sequel.
I'm too scared to guess. I don't
No,
know.
I need you
Just
to
go ahead.
guess.
Just
Throw some.
pigs in space. I don't know.
Pigs and Space. That would be amazing.
All that's coming to mind
I would
is
give
like
it a
some
chance.
play on the Muppet or Kermit or something. It's like Two Pets?
You're you're kind of on the right track. Disney has released the title of the Muppets sequel to be The Muppets ... again! ! Literally, that's what they named
It's
it.
so
Put
good.
a lot of thought into that one. I swear they did.
They
But
apparently
it's
are
so
very.
Muppets.
It is so Muppet. They're
Yeah,
completely self-aware
better.
of the fact.
That's the kind of movie
Um,
you see it on the little movies billboard. And you want to go. We should so see that. I mean, you know, kind of thing. It's catchy.
I get a laugh that they think that they're so self-aware of the fact that it's. They're just like, we're not even going to take ourselves seriously here.
All we have to say is the Muppets, and people will spend millions on it. You know.
And it was the first one was fantastic. Regardless of what you think of it, I thought it was fantastic. The synopsis is that it takes the entire Muppet gang on a global tour, selling out grand theaters in some of Europe's most exciting destinations, including Berlin, Madrid, and London. But mayhem follows the Muppets overseas as they find themselves unwittingly entangled in an international crime caper headed by Constantine, the world's #1 criminal, and a dead ringer for Kermit, and his dastardly sidekick Dominic, aka Number 2, portrayed by Ricky Gervais. So,
I wish I knew who that was.
Ricky
because
Gervais? He's a British comedian. He's
Gervais?
Gervais,
Wait.
whatever.
oh gosh, oh that no,
He was in
I see Gervais.
Night at the Museum, and yes,
He did the UK's version of The Office. The one that we ripped off.
And he's the one that talks like this, and he's really sarcastic.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, I know the name. I can see the name in my head, but I can't see the face.
If I had my iPod on me, I'd show you a picture.
Anything else you might have played in? I might know.
You know who I'm talking
We
about,
see
right?
him
Yeah,
at
I
the
do.
museum. Who did he play at night at the museum?
He was the obnoxious theatre museum director.
Yes. Okay. All right. I got you. Man. I got you.
Yes.
All right.
And he's awesome.
Yeah.
They also have Tina
Okay.
Fey added to the cast somewhere in there, which I think is just as like
Okay,
you got Tina Fey, you got Ricky Gervais. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
I'm
whatever.
content with that.
Let's go see it right now.
Well, the thing is, Ricky Gervais, it could be just him and the Muppets, and it would be perfect. It'd be
Him?
great.
Oh yes.
It would.
Like him with the Muppets. That would be worth it. I'd say yes. Take my money. Yeah.
And the bad guy, it's kind of similar to the second Muppet movie, which was The Great Muppet Caper, I think. I don't know. Maybe it was Muppets in Manhattan. I don't know. It was one of the ones where there's a jewel thief, and they have to stop the jewel thief, and it's kind of like that, but since it's a rebooted series, they're like, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
And I just,
Do whatever we want.
yeah, and I'm hoping that it turns out quite well.
Hopefully.
So we don't talk about this very often, but one of my favorite movie franchises of all time has been the X-Men franchise.
Oh, another one?
There is going to be another one, and this one's very exciting. To do some backdrop, we've been getting more and more information as it's been going along. I forget, have I really talked about the X-Men movies on this on this podcast? So this is the first time I've brought it up.
Yep.
In the next movie they did, X-Men First Class, which was the newest one, and I thought it was fantastic compared to
I still haven't
to
seen
Last
that
Stand.
one, but
You're missing out.
I know I want to.
You
I'm trying to.
see it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of plot holes.
Isn't it
compared
like
to
a
the rest of the
First
series.
Class is like the older X people? Right?
It was
I don't
from
know
the
what's it called.
60s. It was during
Okay.
the Cold War.
Alright.
The new one is going to take place in the 70s, 11 years after the first film. So, okay. The interesting thing is that it's called X-Men Days of Future Past, which was a plot line in the comics where old X-Men characters met new X-Men characters. And so they all got crazy, jumbled up, that sort of thing. And the interesting thing is that so far the cast is pretty much everyone from First Class is in the movie. And then they have, coming back from the original team, Wolverine, obviously, Iceman, Rogue, Kitty Pryde, Shadowcat, Patrick Stewart, Professor X, and Ian McKellen as Magneto.
So there's going to be a point in the movie when Professor X meets Professor X?
I think so. That's kind of what they haven't said whether or not it's just cameo roles or whether or not...
You know why this is really bizarre for me? Because I just watched Star Trek Nemesis last night where Patrick Stewart meets a younger Patrick Stewart, played by Tom Hardy. And it was like... So...
It was bad, right? Sorry. I don't like Nemesis. Nemesis is my least favorite one. Yes, it's my least favorite one.
Yeah.
Maybe...
I just love it for B4 because Data's my favorite character. And
Yeah.
And, well, I get all emotional when I watch the end of it because, well, I do.
Because I do.
Adam's special. Okay. So.
And I thought that was kind of crazy because it's one of the biggest casts ever. Because you had like a full ensemble of X-Men from the reboot. Well, I guess it's not a reboot. It's just like prequels or whatever. Yeah. And then you had everyone from the older movies, and there were three of them. And then there was the...
It's hard with the X-Men movies, because, you know, it's like, sometimes they're like, okay, this movie didn't do well, let's kind of ignore it, or something, some aspect of this movie, and let's make this movie anyway, and so there's a lot of plot holes.
Well, that's the thing, is that the director has said, we're gonna fix all the plot holes. We're gonna say this is why these plot holes are here.
In true comic book fashion.
In true comic book fashion. It's not gonna be like rebooting and say they never happened. It's gonna explain why they are the way they are.
Good for them.
And I'm happy about that. Okay, I'm ready to see Patrick Stewart back in the wheelchair. Sorry. I'm not happy to see him in the wheelchair. It's just like
I'm happy to see him playing the
It's better him being in the wheelchair and here than rather just been blown up dust.
Yeah, and Ian McKellen just he throws off the Gandalf the Grey cloak and puts on the Magneto
down to business.
Yeah, and it's back to business. I thought that was great. The Wolverine's coming out. It's either this year or next year. I think it's next year.
I haven't been paying attention to it closely enough.
Wait, a second movie dedicated solely to Wolverine?
Solely to Wolverine. This one's about he goes to Japan.
My favorite.
And he does a total like ninja training.
X-Men fights samurais, you know.
Pretty much, but it's just him.
Nah, Wolverine has this whole backstory involved in Japan where he was, you know, samurai and all this cool stuff, and it's my favorite
samurai with claws.
Plot line from Wolverine. Like, I remember reading books and comic books about that plot line of Wolverine when I was a kid.
And that was actually one of the very few reasons that Hugh Jackman decided that he wanted to play Wolverine. He was like, I will only do it if at some point in this career I get to do that movie.
Oh,
so
good for him.
So he's gonna
love you, Hugh Jackman. You're watching this, aren't you?
We love you, man.
Or you're listening
nice hair,
to this, aren't you?
Nice hair. Dude, really?
I don't know him.
I don't know.
And that is all I have. So do we have video game news, sir?
Yeah, we got tidbits.
Tidbits.
For people with Xboxes, you might have heard about this. Yes, good. You might not have. They are licensing a new technology and possibly, I can't remember if it's even confirmed or anything yet, but something called the Illuma Room. Well, I guess it's confirmed because they've released like a little teaser for it.
Yeah. I actually haven't heard about this, so.
The Illuma Room is basically, at first glance, you're like, future technology. Like, basically, it's going to use the Kinect to. Don't get too excited while I describe this because I don't think it'll be that great, but we'll see.
Well, you started with Kinect, and I don't even.
Yeah,
that's great. So.
The Kinect will basically take a reading of your room, and by doing that, I don't know if there's another peripheral to use as a projector, but anyway, it's going to like basically extend your screen across the wall or walls around you. So that could either be used many ways. In the teaser they released, sometimes it was just add atmosphere, like you're driving around in whatever miscellaneous karting game they had up, and there was snow falling, and it was a snowy area, and so it was just kind of, you know.
Okay.
But then when like it hit an item, it sent ripples through the stuff, and that wasn't just like the actual objects in the teaser actually rippled. So I don't know how advanced this thing's going to be that it can actually do that.
Yeah.
But then in another example, they showed, say, a first-person shooter. And so basically, the screen, you can see the gun, and it wasn't like you could see the person outside or anything, but like you could basically see your field of view was much wider because of the Illuma Room. So we'll see where that goes. I'm a little bit of a skeptic about it.
I don't know. I kind of want to be, it's not going to work because it's too futuristic, but at the same time I want to be like, shut up and take my money, you know? But.
Well, yeah.
Joy, what do you think? Do you think, like, think this is good?
Well, you know how passionate I am about video games.
Obviously. That's why I'm asking your opinion.
She's just like buzz gaming.
Is it going to be like when it's first-person shooter, do you actually get to turn to a different wall to shoot something? Like, can something sneak up behind you and you're like, oh crap!
I can see them doing that because it's connected to the Kinect.
Zombie games are about to get even more scary.
So they might do that, but it comes down to the fact that I think the whole thing's just kind of going to center around your TV. So they might do that, they might not, because at that point, what becomes the point of your TV, which is... So
right.
We'll see how they can implement it, because any good game should be specifically made for the peripheral it's played on. So if they can specifically make a game to be used with the Illuma Room, then it'll be good. But if it's just a slapped-on side thing,
Connect. Wii U. Sort of. Never mind.
No.
Sorry.
I have yet to use the Wii U, so I can't tell you whether or not it's a good system.
But it's kind of weird that they took like Call of Duty and put it on the Wii. I've seen Call of Duty for the Wii U.
Why don't we scoot over so
They kinda-
you're on the screen?
They kind of dumb it down a little bit. From what I can tell, they kind of dumb it down, you know.
Yeah.
Well, from what I've seen of the Wii U, I think it's exciting and, well, it's underestimated, I think. I'm trying to cover all my bases. There's so many flavors of gamers out there.
There's a lot that is coming out. Do you want to talk about The Walking Dead since we were on that earlier.
Yeah. It's been a while since I finished it, but...
The Walking Dead is a game that came out recently. It was by Telltale, and it's a 5-episode game. They're trying to bring back the episodic type gameplay and point-and-click adventure games, which both of those concepts have kind of been shoved in the gutter recently, and by storm they have brought back, right back up to the playing field, this crazy forgotten way of doing things, and it's fantastic. It's a beautiful game. It's only $30 on GameStop, probably less on eBay. I'm not endorsing GameStop. I definitely think you should get stuff online because it's a lot cheaper than at GameStop.
Yeah, you can probably download all the episodes and get like a season pass for $20, or at least you can on PS3. So
yeah, and really fantastic storytelling, very beautiful. I got a little teary-eyed at the very end.
Just bawled like a small child.
Bawled like a small child. I had a couple of tears go because it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
The game is by no sense, no stretch of the imagination perfect. It has its little quirks, like sometimes the camera screws up.
And I've seen glitches, like I was watching a playthrough and there was game-breaking glitch where you had to start back over from a save, and then you might get the same glitch again if you don't do things right.
Yeah.
So they might have patched that by now.
It is most certainly it has its little problems,
as every game does.
But the story is good enough to bypass that. Like it's so beautifully put together that you don't even think about, oh, my character's not even on the screen right now when it's having a conversation. It doesn't really make sense. It was just gorgeous. I've played the Back to the Future game that they made. Loved it. Haven't played the Jurassic Park one, but
don't go into the Jurassic Park.
I heard that it was total crap. So
don't go into it expecting too much, and don't spend too much money on it.
Okay.
Get a deal if you're getting it at all.
Well, the thing is like it was for fans of that series that just wanted. You know, there are fans that are just Back to the Future. I was a big fan. I had a $20 iTunes gift card. I got it on the iPad and I had like a 5-hour playthrough. Yeah. I was just like, I'm going to beat this whole thing right now.
Starting now.
Starting now. Unfortunately, you did not get to drive the DeLorean. Oh well, but it was still. It was still no, but it was still. It was still great. They got most of the voice cast to come back. Christopher Lloyd, Michael J. Fox was in the last episode. They had somebody new that sounded exactly like him, so it didn't really matter.
It doesn't matter.
It was really strange how close it was. So.
I do like the decision game. RPGs, is that what they're called? Where it's all decision based, you know, where like the slightest decision.
Well, you could call that choose your own adventure, but elements of that are being put into a lot
of RPGs.
A lot more genres.
BioWare is infamous for that.
I've heard a lot about that one.
Mass Effect and Dragon Age and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic are infamous for having those choose which way you want to go.
Yeah.
And even I hear in the campaign of Call of Duty Black Ops 2 that there are some moments of decision in that.
Is there?
Yes, it's very
I haven't played.
There's only 3 that really affect. It's kind of funny. All 3 of them are live or die, or people. This person lives, this person dies, kind of thing. That affect the ending to your gameplay, and all around it kind of comes around to the. It's all the same thing, you know. It pretty much. It's pretty much the whole thing is the decisions are people die or people live, and then the ending will be people die, people live, almost, you know.
Well, that's kind of the way the Walking Dead
it's called
was
what do you expect?
At first, that's the way it was.
Yeah.
Well, the first time that comes up, doesn't matter which one you pick, one person's gonna live or die. Like they already have it set in stone.
Yeah.
And then the second one is, without spoiling it too much, you do have to make a choice between one or the other. And like 95% chose that one person, but the other 5% chose that one person. So
well, you can the 95. It was in their defense. It was a woman. So
yeah, that was the difference. It was like, am I gonna go with the dorky guy who's pretty much got us all killed, or am I gonna go with the smoking hot
chick
lady who? And the difference was like the dorky guy's got like 3 or 4 zombies tearing at his shoulder, and the chick's got like 1 on her leg.
And
that's it.
She has a gun.
And she has a gun in her hand.
But that doesn't. Still, I would just like to say I chose Doug, the nerdy guy.
How does that turn out?
The whole determining thing for me was his sweater. Did you see what was on Doug's sweater?
I did not.
He had the best sweater ever. People go find it on the internet. Doug's sweater.
What does it say?
It doesn't say anything. It's like I can't quite remember, but it's like a polar bear with like antlers or a unicorn. It was something weird like that.
Really strange. It was just like, you know what?
It was worth saving.
That guy's worth saving.
Yeah.
I don't want that shirt to get a scratch on.
But from what I can tell, basically the trade-off is if you go with Carly, the girl, she kind of has marksmanship, and so she's good with the gun.
Yeah.
While Doug is kind of a techie, and so that helps out in different ways, and so different things kind of go different ways.
Okay, because Carly had ended up not mattering, but I'm not going to spoil it anymore. I'm not going to spoil it anymore. Is there anything else in news that you'd love to? Dive right into.
I was talking about earlier with you how much I love being nostalgic about Pokemon.
There we go, Pokemon.
I'm hitting all my bases here.
That's right.
Childhood memories. And recently Nintendo just unleashed a slew of news about different things.
X and Y.
Yep, they
ran out of colors.
Yeah, they ran out of colors, and they're releasing Pokemon. Or they teased Pokemon X and Y. And you can go and find the trailer, and it basically shows off Pikachu talks and is cute for a second with subtitles, and then it goes into like looking at gameplay.
You've only watched this once, haven't you?
Each, yeah.
It's just messing with you. Did you ever play the Pokemon games? Did you avoid them?
My dad is much more of a classic geek, so that's what we.
So you played
on.
Tetris and.
Well, like,
Boy's an old geek.
My dream when I was little was to get to go to the house where my dad would play D&D and play D&D with their kids while he played D&D with the grown-ups. That was. There
you go.
So I wasn't so much Pokemon.
D&D. Yeah. We got. I want to give that a try. I'm just being honest.
I would too.
I'd like to see that.
I don't feel like I'm smart enough because there's all those variables.
But
once I get all those down, I could play some.
I think it'd be worth a try once or twice. I don't know.
We could even do it on Populore. I think that would be pretty great.
We'll just film it and be like, oh yeah.
Or we could.
Giant ogre dude.
Well, have you watched
Map 27? The closest connection to D&D that I have is I watched a Community episode. They parody it. So that was as close as I got. So,
but Pokemon X and Y, they showed off the 3 starters. I'm happy because I haven't been happy with the starters for a long time. Mostly because nothing is ever compared to Squirtle, Wartortle, and Blastoise for me.
Well, I saw something that might burst your bubble where they pretty much just, like, they took a comparison of all the different starters or whatever, and they said, this one is a part of this one is a part of this one, this one's related to this one. And so, like, they can already guess what the next 2 games starters are going to be because they keep following the same patterns of choices.
They should just go out of the box and be like, okay, this one's a like the most unattractive animals ever. This one's a sea slug. That one's like, I don't know, that one's like a rock.
That one's like a rock.
That one's a mosquito.
That one's a mosquito that it's a giant mosquito that got half chewed on by a dog. They thought it was a chew toy, and so it's like.
It's the ugliest Pokemon you've ever seen, and that's the direction they should go.
The evolved forms would be like nothing compared. Like, say it's a mosquito, it evolves into a chihuahua. Like, just completely not related at all.
That's a fierce Pokemon right there.
Anyway, so that's it. My Pokemon childhood nostalgic basis.
There you go.
And
there was one you enjoyed.
What about Bioshock? How is it?
I finished Bioshock the other day, and kind of in the vein of your choices affect the end. I love the ending so much because I played the Saint in the game. There's 2 different ways you can play the game where you're given the choice to save little sisters, basically by taking a superpower you're given at the beginning of the game and like draining the superpower element out of them. You get less of the superpower element.
Okay.
Than if you were to kill them and harvest them. So, I haven't met anyone who I know who's played that had the heart to kill them. So, yeah, I had to look up online.
I'll bet you $5 that'll kill every single one of them. $5. If I ever get my hands on the game, I will kill every single one of them. In cold blood.
I don't know.
I'm feeling terrible.
You're gonna hate your ending because let me tell you, the ending of Bioshock for me, so satisfying. I don't want to spoil it for anyone because it's an amazing game. But Bioshock Infinite's coming up. It's coming out like
March, I think.
Yeah, everything's coming out in March. I feel like.
Yeah, everything pretty much.
Everything's
new
coming
episodes
out
of Doctor Who. New.
Yep.
Finally. Yeah.
But yeah, Bioshock Infinite looks pretty good. I don't feel like I did a good job talking about any of the games. I think I slipped up and said Insomniac made them, and that's the Resistance team.
Wow.
It was irrational.
Hey, the episode didn't get put up. You're okay. You're okay.
I just gave a thumbs up to the camera.
Yes, you did. We have like, I think we've recorded 14 or 15 episodes, and this will be number 10.
Well, you know,
I've recorded that many,
episodes.
and I just haven't put them up because
we should keep them in like episode number 51, the lost documents of Populore, kind of thing like
I have it somewhere. I do. I have them all somewhere
or
around.
we can build a city underneath the ocean and scatter them throughout the city, and people can listen to them just like the recordings in Bioshock. And then
I like where this is going. You get the funds for the underwater city, and I'll keep making a podcast, and we'll call it even.
I'll be the big daddy.
I'll leave you up to making that stuff. I'm just gonna say I don't want any of your dang lemons.
Cave Johnson.
Cave Johnson.
Oh, if Cave Johnson met Andrew Ryan, I think the world would explode. And people who have played Portal and Bioshock will know what I mean.
I only know like a smidge about Cave Johnson. I know about the lemon riot that he has.
Cave Johnson is a character in the Portal series.
He's like the maker
He
of the
really
lab.
wants me to play that.
And it's good. You need to play it. It's
I
an
have
experience.
to graduate before I can do anything.
John, I'm gonna video games. I'm gonna graduate. Gosh.
and I don't even know what grade I'm in.
I was like 45, so.
Where am I?
Yeah. But
I should be upstairs doing schoolwork right now.
Yeah, Joy has like priorities or something.
Apparently we're just not good enough
Snacks.
for you. We'll do this later. Come on, guys.
Know that I am here, even though I should be upstairs.
We'll just say whatever.
okay. Anyway.
Cool stuff. Bioshock.
So many games coming out.
So many games coming out.
I think if I played that, I'd have to kill the Little Sisters because they get like I don't know, they just look weird and creepy. I would like I don't want you following me around. Just I don't know. They're weird. I don't know. There's something about it.
It's funny because to me they look less creepy or.
They got like glowing yellow eyes and a little dressed in like.
They're like pale skin and they walk around and skip around and they have glowing eyes and they're pretty creepy.
Pale skin, glowing eyes, skip around.
At the time, apparently Irrational wasn't good at making attractive character models, at least not in game. They didn't have the technology for it. So when you save the Little Sisters, in my opinion, because they're supposed to look like normal little girls after you save them. They're creepier, in my opinion.
So it was better.
Don't they like ride on your
I wish I'd killed you.
Don't they like ride on your shoulder too while you're like going through the game? They like ride on your shoulder, or
I think that's the second game, which I'm probably going to start this afternoon. I'm not gonna lie.
There you go. I've got a Dragon Age Origins that I just got for $10 at
you sir
Blockbuster.
are wheeling and dealing.
So I am indeed. So I'm looking forward to that, but we're in the midst of tearing my house apart, so I gotta go back and finish that first. We're resorting everything, so I'm looking forward to Dragon Age Origins. Did you ever play that series? Or?
No, I played the Dragon Age 2 demo, and that's about the extent of it. I had fun.
There you go.
I think that's about it for gaming news. I'm watching Bioshock Infinite waiting for it to come out. I'll probably search around for a pre-order because apparently there are none left around town. But
oh well,
I pre-ordered The Last of Us 2, which Naughty Dog is amazing. Uncharted series, PS3 exclusive. So
yeah, Nathan Fillion should most certainly play Nathan Drake.
Agreed.
In
They ever make an Uncharted
I was rewatching
cool.
Firefly.
I don't know much
Brought
about
back
Uncharted, but that'd be
memories.
cool.
Just saying. Have any of you guys watched Firefly? I know.
I did a
Probably
long
not.
time ago, I think.
Is it a movie?
It's a TV show. 14 episodes and a movie.
Oh, I know what
It's
you're talking about. No,
Randy.
I haven't seen it though. I know what you're talking about.
Wonderful.
Need to watch that,
You
John.
need to come to my
Everybody
house
need to watch that, John.
and we will watch all 14 episodes in one go. It's worth it. It's worth
It
it.
really
It's
is.
beautiful.
Ah,
Beautiful stuff.
I cried.
Wait, what? Well, it wasn't that beautiful.
We're getting into Adam's a little personal life here.
Yeah.
No, during Serenity.
He's like, oh, I read The Hobbit and I cried.
Paid.
I was eating this
Why
spaghetti
did
the
Adam
other day.
stop?
I was eating spaghetti and I cried.
I cried little baby tears.
When Adam's sad, he gets little.
I saw
Scottish
pink cotton
accent.
candy and I cried.
Oh man. I
was
went on a
playing
really good
chess.
jog the other day. I was jogging and I was just tearing up, man. It was such a good jog. I bombed all over everyone.
Okay, what is the deal with this weather? For those of you who don't know, the last 2 days it's been like
I love it.
it's been
I love
negative 20 degrees wind, and then the 2 days before that it was like 70. I was in t-shirts and a shorts.
It's
I don't know what
ridiculous.
to
I'm
do.
still in t-shirts and a short. Well, I was yesterday, but
That's not shorts.
I was yesterday.
I envy one of my friends who he just wears shorts all year round because he knows our weather. He's figured it out. Like if I just wear shorts and a t-shirt, sometimes I'll be cold, but most of the time I'll be all fine. I'll be all right.
There you go. There you go.
It was like 80 degrees upstairs at night the other day. I'm just like, this is ridiculous. I quit. I'm moving to Alaska.
That is crazy.
asked
Alaska's freezing.
Our opinions on nerd news, and here we are talking hard-hitting weather.
Hard-hitting weather. That's exactly
We
what
can't
we're
stay on
about.
subject.
Well, that's well, I'm glad you came up with something because I was literally about to go back through these paper shreds. Super
Yeah.
fun.
I actually thought you were going to bring this up. I don't know, did we bring this up already? Guillermo del Toro, Dark Universe?
We did not, and no, I have no idea.
Wait,
The Del Toro, man.
you have no idea about what?
I have no idea about. You said Dark World.
Dark Universe. For those of you who don't know, Guillermo del Toro has officially announced that he is directing. Yeah, he's directing, and he's apparently found the perfect writer as well to make Dark Universe, which is going to be a movie kind of centered around Justice League Dark, which is kind of like it's like the corner of DC that nobody really sees.
Well, that's the thing is Del Toro's like he looks at the world and he says, what's the corner of the universe that no one no one
Let's look at
ever
the nooks and
looks.
crannies.
Let me go in there. He's doing so much. I just don't know how the guy. He's like
I know.
He's doing like a Pinocchio movie. He's doing
Well,
like
it got canceled.
Well, that's the thing is I read news saying like it got canceled, and then I went to the next website and it said still happening.
Oh.
So I was like,
No.
Internet's not agreeing.
William,
So
let's just pretend Del Toro's
lying
like.
if their nose grown, they might be lying.
Oh,
no.
Ooh.
Whoa. I need to go back and check that.
somebody's nose is growing somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah, he's also doing. He's got Pacific Rim coming up. He's got.
Oh, that's him?
He's trying to do. Yeah.
I saw a trailer for that. I was like, yeah.
He's trying to do Hellboy 3. Get that off the ground, which should happen. That is a movie that deserves to happen.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It really is.
It's
But,
beautiful. I keep using beautiful for everything.
It's so.
So beautiful.
There are two dictionaries right there. You can look for more positive adjectives.
Hang on. Wait, I'll find it.
No, it's on the bottom shelf.
Bottom shelf. Okay.
What are we doing?
I'm
He's
looking
looking
up
for
for
more
a better
positive
word.
adjectives.
Oh, okay.
Is it?
No,
That's the Tabor's medical
that's a
dictionary.
medical dictionary.
It's fine when
This
it's there,
is
man.
Practical dictionary.
Dang.
There we go.
Whoa.
Okay.
Dylan
like
found a
it.
spell book.
I found a spell book.
This is like the thing Gandalf looks at.
Kedavra, no.
You looked at.
But talking more about Dark Universe, Justice League Dark basically consists of more like the magic users of the DC world, like Zatanna.
Don't know who that is.
I'm disappointed in you, Dylan.
I'm sorry.
You let me down here. someone somewhere out there will understand what I'm talking about, because these are some of my favorite DC characters, honestly, so I'm really pumped for the movie. Deadman could be in the movie, Swamp Thing, Constantine, which...
That sounds very Bonnie.
Yeah. Still at it.
Bonnie? Boney?
Sounds quite Bonnie.
Bonnie?
Bonnie.
Like a
It's
Bonnie
quite
Mop.
Bonnie. We lass.
I've never heard that used. It also sounds elegant and delightful. I am very much looking forward to this, not beautiful, this rugged and, no.
Right at a
I think you lost your place.
Picturesque and pretty movie.
But yeah, I could, you know,
Dylan really likes his movies.
I know Guillermo's,
Guillermo.
I can't say it. Del Toro.
Del Toro.
Mr.
Del
Del
Toro.
Toro. I know he's gonna do a great job with it. I'm so afraid that it won't go well. Because
here's the thing, they've even said that they might not even do Justice League if the Superman movie doesn't like explode.
Yeah.
If it does not do perfect at the box office,
listen, people,
shut
everyone go see it. That movie.
no, wait, don't go see it. I'm perfectly fine with the Marvel Universe. Sorry, I'm perfectly content with.
Shut your face.
I'm totally fine with the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. Well, I'm that's where I wanted to stand.
I want the Flash. I want Green Lantern that isn't Ryan Reynolds. I love you, man, but come on.
I prefer him as Deadpool.
Yeah. Well.
No. Well, he's getting his own movie, so I don't care.
Yeah. Before he was mutated and couldn't
That would be
actually
something.
speak.
Yeah.
But
why would you make a Deadpool that couldn't talk? I don't know. Why? What's
But-
the purpose? Ooh.
Beginning of the movie, though, perfect Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds, yeah. But yeah, what other characters? Madame Xanadu,
Will there be a Chow Chow dog?
Black Orchid.
We have
You're just going to town with that book, huh?
I'm having fun. There's
21st century.
There's a Chow Chow
discovering
dog.
the wonder that is the dictionary.
I'm
Oh,
quite
Franken-
fascinated.
Frankenstein,
By the
They like being in their little
Frankenstein.
Agent
Oh.
of Shade.
They're trying to, ABC's trying to get a pilot off the ground because of the success with Once. They're trying to do one where it's a modern setting with like Dracula, Frankenstein, Jekyll and Hyde. Like they're trying to do
I
a...
can only handle so
Yeah,
many Frankenstein spin-offs, like...
It really just needs to be Once Upon a Time and be
Yeah.
done with it.
Well,
So,
when they brought in Victor Frankenstein in that, I was just kind of like...
Wait, in Once Upon a Time?
yeah.
Thanks for the spoiler alert, you guys.
Wow. That was very...
I'm sorry! I didn't mean to!
That doesn't really tell me too much about
I
the
can't
plot.
find a word
No.
fast enough. Oh, well. I'm gonna put this up.
I don't know if you'll know when it happens.
They're very smart with it though.
Because I didn't know for sure until like the very end, kinda. They never. Well, anyway, I'll get away from that before I spoil something else. Sorry.
Change subject.
But yeah, Dark Universe. I've been reading up on Justice League Dark. You know, I haven't been writing. Comic book people will always argue that if you didn't like a comic book, you weren't reading the right, like, story from it, the right writer. So, I've just been reading the most recent stuff, and, you know, it wasn't the most amazing thing I've ever read.
Yeah. I was impressed by, I saw the Judge Dredd adaptation finally. And I was impressed.
I watched that recently.
It was cool.
Dread, is that the movie that's coming out?
It's the movie that just came out. It didn't do all that well in the box office. It did fantastic on DVD. So they're considering doing a sequel because it's made back most of its money from DVD sales.
Okay.
It's basically like take a
The
futuristic...
movie that they made. When did they make that movie?
2011, I think. No,
I was
maybe
like,
it's
oh,
2012.
last
I saw a
year.
trailer
No,
for it.
No, it's 2012.
I saw a trailer for a movie called Dread.
It is-
It's Family Video, like
Yes,
about
that's
a month
it.
ago. Oh, that's it. Okay.
That's it. And it's
It looks cool.
It's like taking Die Hard and putting it with a
Terminator.
futuristic Terminator type character. He doesn't show any emotion pretty much at all, but he has like
because he wears the helmet the entire time.
time,
And it's
and
a stupid
he-
looking helmet.
well,
I'm just saying.
it's a comic book. helmet, and he has this scowl that's
Yeah.
the whole movie, the entire movie. It's just.
I'm not a big Judge Dredd fan, but
From
what
it was kind of humorous and action-packed, and slow-motion bullets entering a dude's belly. It ripples on his belly and comes out the other side, and inferno bullets that explode your head and just skinning people and throwing them out of a building and seeing what happens when they hit the ground.
yeah.
And lots of F-bombs. Lots and lots of F-bombs.
From what I understand, that's what Judge Dredd is supposed to be, and
it was fantastic.
there was also like apparently
Well, the name like
Stallone
Judge
movie,
Dredd.
or-
The Stallone movie was terrible, from what I understand.
And one of the reasons a lot of people were mad is because he took off his helmet, which he never does in the comics. So that was
the
very true
big
to the
thing.
comics.
Yeah, and what else was about a lot of the humor was kind of like, it wasn't haha funny, it was like very dry humor, like at the very end of the movie, he's pretty much destroyed the building, killed all the bad guys, he's got like a bullet wound, 3 or 4 bullet wounds that he's stitched up by himself, and he's kind of like limping out, and you know, his person in charge says, "What happened here?" and he goes, "Drug bust." Keeps walking.
I think I would kind of love this movie.
And a lot of the movie is like that. His partner is a very cute blonde who
Always gotta be
does
blonde, always.
well. I know, but she's like, you think, oh, why are you taking this innocent person into a drug bust filled with terrorists? And then you come to find out that she can totally handle herself. Like one of the guys makes some not so nice comments towards her, and she like goes inside his head, and he's like, "You're inside my head. I can do whatever I want." And she's like, "Yeah, right," and like pretty much destroys his brain. It's kind of cool. Sorry, pretty sweet. I enjoyed it.
Now, let's see if Garrett can sleep tonight.
Well, tell you what, I'm gonna call it an episode.
Just don't make Candler mad.
Yeah, don't do that. Alright, well, I'm gonna call it a day. We hope that you've enjoyed our first episode. You okay, Garrett? We hope you've enjoyed our first episode back. And this one's gonna be on video, and hopefully on YouTube very shortly, and we're gonna do this one on iTunes.
Alright.
So hopefully I'll be able to do that soon-ish.